Okay. I think we were up to... Where? Yeah.
Where's that?
Rabbi Yosef, we're now on Kuf Yud Amud Bet. Good morning, everybody. It's about 15 lines up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17 lines up. Rabbi Yosef. First word on the line is Yosef. Rabbi Yosef, we're talking about Yerakon, jaundice, different types of remedies that help it. The shir should be for the tzlacha of my dear friend. He knows who he is, and for all the refuah for all Chayli Yisrael, and the Eilu Nishmas, all the tzaddikim in Klal Yisrael. Rav Acha bar Yosef Choshpeh. Rav Acha bar Yosef felt he had Yerakon, he had jaundice. Over there, Rav Kahana v'itasi. So Rav Kahana did everything we spoke about yesterday with all the juices from the locusts and smearing on him and all these things. He should perspire between the oven and the wall, all those things. It says the Gemara of Eloi Leisi Tlasa Kafizi Tamri Pasiyasa. Person should bring 3 kefizis of Persian dates. We said 3 lugan. A kefizi is 3 lugan. Each one holds 18 eggs. Bring 3 of them. Right? So you'll have 54 eggs worth of Persian dates. Utlata kefizi de kirid nishterufei. And 3 kefizis of wax that dripped from an overflowing honeycomb. So you have a lot of wax, worth 54 eggs of wax, the volume, and the 54 worth of the volume of 54 eggs in dates. Utlata kfizi ala tol ana, another 3 kfizis, which is equal to 54 eggs in volume, of tol ana, ahala tol ana, red. Tol ana is red, ahala is red aloe. V'lishtukina b'shichem, boil it in beer, v'lishti, and drink it. V'iloi, and if it doesn't work, laisi ila b'chamora. Bring the baby of a donkey. V'ligalach metziasa dereisha, shave the middle of the man's head. V'lishpiglei doma me'apuse, take blood from the little baby donkey's head, the foal, they call it, right? V'lois ve'areishe, put the blood on the shaved part. V'izar me'edi delei samalu. But be careful that the blood doesn't go into his eyes, because he could become blind. V'iloi, you should bring the head of a ram that was pickled. V'lishlok b'shichra, kavish b'choymitza b'tzir, Rashi says, in vinegar or tzir, brine. Then v'lishti, drink it. V'iloi, Leisi davar acher chutrana. Bring something else. Whenever it says davar acher, it means a chazir that has speckles. V'likre, tear it open, v'lois v'alibe, and put it on the patient's heart. V'loi leisi kati machtusa de meishri. You should bring machvetusa, leeks. But the middle leeks are the sharpest, so you should bring them, and I guess you should eat them. Hu tayo de choshbe, omele de ginai. So he told the gardener, there was an Arab that had jaundice. So he told him, shkoil glimoy, take my glima, my jacket, my cloak, as payment, the havli mesh de charti. Give me a whole row of leeks. Yoivle gave it to him, v'achli ate it. Omalei, oishlan glimach. He said, lend me your thing. Oishlan glimach, V'igni ve'kali. Let me sleep a little bit inside of it. Ikarach ganave. He wrapped himself. He slept in it. Kadicham and v'kom. When he got hot, got up. Nofal purta minei. The whole cloak was so ruined that it was bit by bit. It just was destroyed by the burning of the jaundice that came out into the cloak. So the Gemara said like this: and we said that you have to have 2 out of the 3 ingredients in order to cure the jaundice. And it was called kois shel ikarin in the Mishnah. You take the sap from the Egyptian Alexandrian trees, the alum and the saffron, and you mix them with beer, 2 out of the 3, and the guy will be cured and he'll be sterile. Are you allowed to take that? It's very nice, it's curing you, but you're not deathly sick, and you're becoming sterile. How do you know that you're not allowed to become sterile? You're not allowed, all of you shall not do it. Which means, these are the words of Rabbi Chanina. The reason why it says va'artzachem is because everything in your land, which means all animals also, and chem means you. You shall not do this. People cannot become sterile. They can't be castrated. So the Gemara says, that's only if you're mechaven. Mechaven doesn't mean you have it in mind, because over here you do have it in mind because it's a psik reisha. When you drink it, you know it's going to happen as a side effect. So that doesn't mean that. It means when you try to destroy the aver that reproduces. So that is the Isser in the Torah. However, if you take a drink, and after you take that drink has an effect that's not directly on any aver, then that's memela, and that's not what the Torah meant at all. Okay? So it doesn't really mean mechaven over here. The Gemara says mechaven, it doesn't mean mechaven. It means you're precise. You're precisely working on the aver. That's a problem. That's the isser. But to take a drink, there's absolutely no isser, says the Gemara. The Omer Rabbi Yochanan says, if you want to be misares, to castrate the rooster, take its karvelosa, its hairdo, its crest, misares me'elov, and then it will become misturas by itself. Now, wait, how are you allowed to do that? So therefore, it must be from Rabbi Yochanan. You see that since he didn't do anything to the aver that's moilid, that gives birth, that reproduces on the rooster, all he did was do something else, and that causes an effect. The side effect is that he's castrated. That's not an issa. So same thing over here. When you take a drink, it's not a problem. Says the Gemara, no. A rooster is very haughty. When you take away his feather, the karvelosoi, so basically he becomes depressed and he never mates again. So that's the whole reason. You're not castrating at all. It's not even a side effect. It's just making that guy depressed. Fine. So therefore you have no proof from this din. And you're trying to prove that you're allowed to castrate by ways of side effects. You don't have a teretz. We're back to the kasha. How are you allowed to take this drink? And for the Gemara, ela b'saris. We're talking about a person who is already a saris. So therefore, you're right. A saris is a person that already was misuras.
Daniel wants to get on. How does he get on the line?
We're just. You
We're
want to
not on Zoom?
We're on Zoom.
No?
You want to put on your phone? You have Zoom on your phone?
Yeah.
So the Gemara says Ela Besaris, meaning a person who was already misuras, so he could take a drink because it's not going to do anything. That's the teres. Ein chanami. The koisi korin that the Mishnah said you can't take on Shabbat because it's medicinal, but it sounds like you could take it on a weekday. You could take it, but you know who could take it? Someone who's already misuras. So the Gemara says no. Didn't Rabbi Barabba teach in the name of Rabbi Yochanan? Hakol moedim mechamet mechamet shuchayov. The halacha is like this. Hakol moedim. What's hakol moedim? Even those who argue, Rashi says, are you allowed to take a bechor that already has a mum, give it another mum? Are you allowed to be matil mum bibal mum? You know, you're not allowed to create a blemish in a holy animal, an animal that's going to be brought as a carbon. Can you do it to an animal that already has a mum, or do you still in Isser? So there's a machlokes tanoim. So this Gemara says, Hakol moedim, everyone agrees, Rabbi Yochanan says, that that by a korban mincha, where you know that no mincha, besides the shtei alechem, can be brought with chametz. Lo te'afeh chametz, the Torah says. You're not allowed to bake any korban in the Beit HaMikdash, everything has to be matzah. Even though there's many different types of minachot, some are made in a deep pan, some are fried, some are made brittle, some are made thicker, but they're all matzah, they're all non-leavened bread. They all have to be non-chametz. So there, what happens if you're mechametz, acher mechametz? So you do more chimutz to the chimutz. It's already chametz, you add more. Okay? So, any part of the preparation of the mincha that's chametz is going to be a problem. Let's say you mix it together with the thing and you wait till it gets, and then I roll it. And then the other third guy puts it into the oven. So they're all involved in a mincha, they're mechametz, acher mechametz, it's all a problem. Why? Shenemar lo te'afeh chametz, lo te'aseh chametz. Since the Torah says two psukim, so it already said lo te'aseh chametz. And now, each part is mentioned separately to tell you that if you're mechametz, acher mechametz, it's a problem. And b'misares acher misares, if someone castrates a person after someone else already did that to him, shu chayav, shenemar, uma'uch v'chatut v'natuk v'charut. If the person's testicles were ma'uch, squeezed, katut, crushed, natuk, detached, karut, cut. So the Gemara says, imal karut chayav al natuk lo koshkin. If they're cut, they're not totally detached. So for sure if they're detached, why would the Torah have to say it? Ela lahavino tekachar koret. It's coming to tell you that even though the person was already castrated because they were cut, but if someone else comes and totally detaches, right? Shu chayav. Okay? So he's also going to be chayav. So you see, you're not allowed to do an act of sirus after another sirus. So what do you say? Your teretz was he allowed to drink the kos sheli karin because the person was already misuras. But here we see Rabbi Yochanan taught that even sirus achar sirus is a problem. So therefore, how could you do it even on a weekday? Why is the Mishnah saying it's only an issue on Shabbat because of medicine? Hence is the Gemara, ve'ela bezaken, an old person. Because the old person can't have children anyways. So therefore, that's the person that's allowed to drink it on a Wednesday. So the Gemara says, it's a Gemara that brings down. Rashi says there are refuot written over there in Gittin. If someone is not able to reproduce, then he takes these refuot and it helps him have children. And Rabbi Yochanan said even when he was an old man, these brought me back to his youth. He was able to have children. He was able to have, Tasha was able to have children. So an old person also could have children. It's possible for him to have children if he takes his refuot. So now that he drinks the kos shel ikarin, he's castrating himself. So the Gemara says, Ela be'isha. It must be that we're talking about a lady drinking this. And there's no ister at all for a lady to castrate herself. Therefore, a lady is allowed to drink this potion on Friday, but not on Shabbat, because it's medicinal. It's called Sheli Karin. Since, now, why does a lady not have an Isser of Sirus? Because Rashi says she's not mitzuvah in Peri V'Rivya. But according to Rabbi Yochanan Broika, that holds that there is a chiyuv for a lady to prurevu ma'ikalim meimar. So according to him, how does this Mishnah work? So the Gemara says bizkein inami be'akor. Either we're talking about a zakeino, and the Rishonim say that a zakeina can't have children. There's no potion. There's nothing for her to drink, like the Rabbi Yochanan said. You need a total miracle for her to have children. Or an akara, a barren woman. Okay? So now, if it's a barren woman, a woman that just can't have children, right? So then why can't you say that teretz for the man before?
It worked for him, you said. You're saying for the
No, he could have just said, it's talking about a man. And the reason why it's not Isser of Sirut is because he's barren. So the Rishonim answer,
and then you give that?
what?
You already gave that question when he took the kalot.
When he what?
When we said on the top of the page, there was the nituk and then there was the kalot.
Right, so you see that even Sirus Achasirus is a problem. So it says Amnon, because Sirus Achasirus would be a problem. So why isn't it a problem for a lady? Over here we're going to Rabbi Yochanan and Broika that holds that even for a lady there's a problem. So the Rishonim say, very good. The Rishonim answer that I don't know the answer. That's a good kasha. He's speaking back. Very good kasha. Okay, let's do the next Mishnah. Says the Mishnah Kedosha, Choshesh b'shinav, someone who has a problem in his teeth. He feels pain. Lo yigamea bahen et hachometz. You can't sip vinegar through your teeth. Okay? Aval mitabelu kedarko. But you could dip foods into your vinegar and eat them, and thereby have vinegar in your mouth. But if you take vinegar straight, that's a problem, because that looks medicinal, and take it, why? Because vinegar was good for the teeth. Okay? The im nitrape. And if he gets healed, he's healed. But as long as he doesn't look like he's trying to do it for a cure, like we've been saying till now. Next case, hachoshesh b'matnav. One who feels pain in his hips, in his loins, Lo yasuch yain v'chometz, you can't smear them with wine or vinegar, because people only did that for medicine, for curative measures. Avosachu et hashemen, but he could smear them with oil, because that was normal, that was practice. That practice was done by everyone. V'lo shemen vered, but not rose oil, because that also was done, but it was a very expensive thing. People only did it for medicine. But kings could do it. Because they always used this fancy rose oil all the time, so for them it was normal. It doesn't look like they're doing it for curative purposes. Shimon Omer, Kol Yisrael b'nei Melachim, all of Klal Yisrael are princes. And therefore, everyone can anoint themselves with rose oil at all times, even though it's only done by the princes, because it's normal for any Jew to go ahead and do that. It's not fancy, even though the guy's very poor, and he never has rose oil. And today he's taking it because he has a pain. But the point is, but he should be taking it every day, really. He really deserves it. He's a prince. So when we see him doing it, we don't see anything out of the ordinary. And whatever, okay, fine. Says the Gemara, Rami le Rav Acha Aricha duhu Rav Acha bar Papa Rabbi. Rav Acha Aricha, Rav Acha the long one, the tall one, who was Rav Acha bar Papa, asked the kasha Rabbi Avohu to Rabbi Avohu Tinan. We learned in our Mishnah, you're not allowed to rub them and sip vinegar. Are you telling me that vinegar is good for your teeth? The pasuk is describing things that are bad. It says it's like vinegar to the teeth, like smoke to the eyes. That's how bad it is to be lazy. Okay? People send lazy people to do things. So the Gemara says, "Leikash habikiyu depri." That's if you take vinegar. Vinegar means sour juice. Okay? Sour juice because the grapes are not yet ripe. Habichala, but the Arabic is talking to regular vinegar. And that's good for your teeth. Others say habichala, both are talking about vinegar. When you have a wound, if there's a wound, the vinegar will heal it. Lekamaka merape. But otherwise, merape doesn't mean to heal, it means to loosen. Right? Like ripu yodayim. If you don't have a wound, then the vinegar will just take effect into the teeth and loosen the teeth. Okay? Rashi says, they come apart because the basar, the meat, the gums in the teeth will shrivel up, and therefore they won't hold the teeth in well. Okay, so the Mishnah said lo yigama bahenet hachometz. Why? Why not? Because it's a curative thing. Ask the Gemara, "V'otanya lo yigama upfoileit." You're not allowed to sip it and spit it out. Because if a person sees you doing that, obviously you're not eating. You're doing just a simple, you're taking medicine. Avo megameo boileya. But the Braita says, but if you sip it and you swallow it, sometimes people do sip vinegar. And therefore you're allowed to do it. But our Mishnah didn't say that. Our Mishnah said, lo yigamea ben etachayim, period. Even if you swallow it. Omer Abaye, kitnan nami masnisin, megabea upoiletnan. Our Mishnah is talking about when you spit it out. Then it's a problem. Okay? But if you swallow it, it's not a problem. Okay? So, really, when the Mishnah then said the way that you're allowed to do it, it could have just said, but if you swallow it, it's good. But the Mishnah said you dip your bread in. So it's a little bit of a problem, right? According to Abaye. If lo yigamea meant when you spit it out, so then the contrast case should have been when you don't spit it out, should have said, but a person could be megameh ubayleah. So Tosha says they just chose the normal case of when people are beleya, chose bread. But even if you don't have bread, it's going to be mutter. Rava argues. He says afil tem migameo beleya. You could say that our Mishnah holds that even if you're beleya, it's a problem, but still not a steer to the Brisa, which said that if you're beleya, it's not a problem. Kan lefnei tibul, kan la'achat tibul. If a person in the Brisa that said that you're allowed to be migameya ubeleya, that's lefnei tibul. Because lefnei tibul means before the Suda. So since people sometimes would sip a little vinegar to show that that's how they're starting, they have these dips. So they taste a little bit of the dip before. And then that's the way like they're pretty good. The dip came out great. Let's break the bread. Let's eat the bread. So it's very good. So that was normal. But achat tibul, after you finish the meal, you take a little vinegar and you start sipping it and you beleya. Even if you're beleya, that wasn't normal. So that was our Mishnah. Okay? So the Gemara says, "V'neima midilifnei tibul shari la'achat tibul nami shari." So the Gemara has a problem with this, because according to Rava, there's two types of swallowing vinegar. If you swallow it before the meal, it's okay. It's normal. After the meal, it's not okay. But we have a rule. The rule is the Shamini le the Rava, the Isle Hoyel. Rava holds of this rule called Hoyel. Hoyel means literally since. The Amarava, lekamidi de b'Shabbat shari b'Yom Kippur asur. Hoyel de b'Shabbat shari b'Yom Kippur nami shari. Okay? Which means, this is only by the Rabbanans, obviously. There's a rule that anything that's mutter in one place has to be mutter in the other place. The Chachamim don't play like that. They don't make it mutar here, asur over there. If it's mutar here, it's mutar all over the place. So, what's the story on Yom Kippur and Shabbat? That, on Shabbat, you're allowed to go into the mikveh. Rashi says, Hoyel b'chi hay gavna, right? Even though you're not allowed to bring kelim into the mikveh, because it looks like you're being mitaken, midrabanan, it looks like you're fixing the keli, even though you're not really fixing it. It's the same keli, but it looks like you're fixing it because you were able to use it now from Tumah to Tahara. But a person, no problem. Why not? So Rashi said, because Nirke Maker, the Mishnah in Beitza says, it looks like he's cooling off. You can't tell that he's going in there to fix himself from the Tumah to Tahara. People enjoy cold water. So therefore, he's cooling off. It's a hot summer day. So the Gemara says, Tinich b'Shabbos the shayir rechitzav Yom Kippurim the osir rechitzav hakol yodim the toiv l'misaknatzim ma'ikol meimar. Now on Yom Kippur, you're not allowed to go in to cool yourself off because it's prohibited to have any pleasure. So then on Yom Kippur, even if you're tamei and you're not going in for pleasure, right? So then everyone will know why you're walking into the mikveh, to be mitaken yourself from tumah to tahara. So let it be asur. Okay. So Rava said, there's nothing that's mutar on Shabbat that's going to be asur on Yom Kippur. Since on Shabbat it's okay, so on Yom Kippur it's also okay. And therefore, even on Yom Kippur, you're allowed to you're allowed to go into a mikveh if you're tameh. And therefore the Gemara is saying the same thing over here. If the being megama, the chimutz, drinking the chimutz before is mutar, then the Chacham would have left it mutar at all places. So what happens to the rule of Hoyel? How could Rava say that the difference between the Braita and the Mishnah is that one is before the tibul and one's after the tibul? Doesn't make sense. So Hodavari Rava mehach. So the Gemara says that Rava was chozer. He retracted. Okay? He doesn't like this teretz of lifnei tibul and after tibul. Once Rava said later on in his life, he said the rule of Hoyel, you're right. He didn't go for his teretz. So the Gemara says, "Mimayde mehach hodabei, dilmemeahi hodabei." Maybe he was chayzer from the rule of Hoyel. So the Gemara says, "Lo yisal kadaitach," and therefore he's going to say that on Yom Kippur, it's also to go into a mikveh. But he left the teretz of the chimutz intact. I said, don't even think of that. The Tanya kol chayav etfilas toiv and kedarkon, maybe tisha b'yom kippurim, because that we have a braita. So we have a braita. That braita clearly says you're allowed to go into the mikveh on Yom Kippur in Tisha B'av. So Rava can't be chayzer. So Rava is going to have to explain that with Hoyel. So Hoyel is going to have to stay intact. And what's not going to stay intact is the teretz that we just said, right? The rule of Hoyel, of stints, since this is mutar here, it's mutar there, that has to stay. Because there's a braita that he has to explain that it's mutar to go in on to a mikveh on Yom Kippur. So what does he have to retract? He has to retract the teretz that he said over here. So which teretz is he going to be forced to say? Maybe Abaye's teretz. Right? Fine. What was Abaye's teretz? The difference is between sipping and swallowing. And the Mishnah by us, it says it's Asur, is talking about spitting it out, just like the Braita. Even though it doesn't say, but that's what it's talking about. That's what it's talking about. The Mishnah is being curt. It's being short. It just said, don't take vinegar. In what way? Figure it out. You'll see the Braita. By taking it and spitting it out. Okay. So the Mishnah said, you're not allowed to put wine or vinegar on your matnav. What are matnav?
Hips.
Yeah. Hips. Amar Rabbi Bazavda, Amar Rava, Halach Reb Shimon. But Reb Shimon said you could put, and then the Gemara said you're allowed to put regular oil on, but not rose oil. Then Reb Shimon said, we're all b'nei melachim. The name of the Rav Reb Shimon Tzvirle. Are you telling me that Rav holds? Rav is the one that said halacha goes like Rabbi Shimon. Okay? That means that Rav goes with all the kuls of Shimon. Va'om Rav Shimon Brachim Eshmei de Rav. Hai Misachraya de Nazaisa. Famous case of Masechet and Azaisa, all over Shas. We have it a lot of times. In Ketubot also. If you basically put a cloth into a hole to stop the keg or the barrel of liquids, of wine, of beer, from spilling out. Also, la'aduke b'yom tov, b'yom tova. You're not allowed to push it into place on Yom Tov. Why? Because you're going to squeeze out the wine that it had. Okay? And what's the issue of squeezing out the wine? It's either because of dash, of schita, or melaben, you're cleaning the cloth. So, you see that Rav doesn't go for all of the rulings of Rabbi Shimon that are kula, that are lenient. So the Gemara says, "Be'ahi afilu Rabbi Shimon." There, even Rabbi Shimon would agree that it's also to put the stopper into the barrel, even though Rabbi Shimon holds that when you're not mechavein to do a melacha, right? That's why we thought that it's not like Rabbi Shimon, and it's more mach because Rabbi Shimon holds usually eino mechavein is mutar. But there, even Rabbi Shimon agrees, like the Gemara keeps saying throughout Shabbat, and since it's a psik reisha, there it's going to be asur, it's inevitable. So there, even Rabbi Shimon, that's very lenient and says when you don't have intention to do a melacha, it's mutar, there he will agree. So the Gemara says, but we have a member from Chiyah Barashi that Rav said halacha follows Rabbi Yehuda. But Rav Chana bar Abi Omer Shmuel halacha Rabbi Shimon. Shmuel says halacha Rabbi Shimon. But Rav Chiyah bar Avin Maaseh lo b'legavri, and Rav Chiyah bar Avin taught this machlokes between Rav and Shmuel without anybody else's name, just straight. Rav Amar halacha Rabbi Yehuda, Shmuel Amar halacha Rabbi Shimon. So clearly, it says that Rav doesn't go for Rabbi Shimon. So, why does Rav take Rabbi Shimon's shita, which is a leniency when it comes to Shem and Vered? Now, even though over there, there's nothing to do with Ein V'Chavim, but the Rishonim seem to say that Rav, the reason why Rav went like Rabbi Shimon is because Rav takes all of his kulis in Shabbat. But the Gemara is proving now that he doesn't. Because Rav goes like Rabbi Yehuda, that a melacha that you did when you're not with Chaven, he passes like Rabbi Yehuda. So that's why the Gemara is wondering why we're saying that Rav goes with the kula of Rabbi Shimon by shemen vered, by rose oil. Elo Omar Rava, ani ve'arisha bechabura, Targimna, myself, I, ve'arisha bechabura, the lion of the group. Tegimina, we interpreted what Rav said here. Umanu, and who is that lion? Rabbi Chia bar Ovid. And we said the pshat is halach Rabbi Shimon v'lav mitamei. The law goes like Rabbi Shimon, that we're mekel by shemen vered, but v'lav mitamei. But not because of Rabbi Shimon. You're right. Normally he doesn't work with Rabbi Shimon, but here Rav had a different reason to be mekel. What does that mean? If it means that it's mutar, like Rabbi Shimon said, but not his reason, the evil Rabbi Shimon savar maseh, because Rabbi Shimon holds that it heals you, but Rabbi Shimon doesn't care that it heals you, because Rabbi Shimon said that we are all like bnei melachim. The Rav savar loy maseh, and Rav says it's mutar, but not because though it heals you, I let it because we're all princesses and it's normal, but rather Rav holds it's mutar because it doesn't heal. That's why Rav allows it. Could you say such a thing? Does Rav really hold doesn't heal? Since the Mishnah says that the princes always smear the rose oil on their makotei and on their wounds, okay, why would the Tanakama here, that doesn't even hold the Rabbi Shimon, allow princesses to use it? Because he says, because they do it normally on their wounds. So you see clearly that everyone holds that it does heal the wounds. Elod, so it must be that a Rav agrees that it heals. So if Rav agrees to Rav Shimon that it heals, why does he say it's permitted? Don't tell me he says it's permitted because of Rav Shimon's reason, because that means that he's siding with Rav Shimon's kula. And we know that Rav doesn't. So the answer is, Elo halach Rav Shimon d'shari v'lav mitamei till Rav Shimon tzavar afagav d'leishchiach shari. Which means that Reb Shimon holds you can always use it. Even in a little village in Russia, where nobody has any money, and everybody's poor, you could still use it, because we're all b'nei melachim. But Rav Savar ishchiach ini lo ishchiach lei. If it's common to be used in your city, then fine. V'lo ishchiach lei, u'va'asa de Rav shchiach mishcha devardo. And Rav's city, where did Rav live? In Surah, I think. I had it for my kids. Serious. I'm saying now I remember, I think Rav lived in Surah. Shmuel lived in Pumbedisa. So in Surah, if I'm right, that is where the rose oil was common. And therefore, that's why he said it's mutar. But he would not agree with Rabbi Shimon in places where it wasn't common. Hadron aloch shmoina shrotim. Mazal tov, mabruk. Okay, now we're starting the perek. Wow, the 15th perek, Rabotai. We already did 14 prakim in Shabbat. Beautiful.
Mother, why do they call the Jewish people something they always say like in poetic verse, Sharon or something like that?
Whoa.
And when they call the Jewish people the rose,
Chavatzeles hashoron.
what is that? Why that?
The rose of the thorn bush, yeah. Of the rose of Sharon.
Why?
Because I think there were special roses there. There's a Mishnah maybe about them. Because the Gemara says that they got Chavatzeles hashoron. They got the roses from Sharon were the best over there or something. Someone came out with a sefer now. What would you say?
What would you say?
I don't remember exactly what it was used for. Chavatzeles hashoron. There's Psukim in Chavatzeles hashoron. There's, I think, Mishnayis. There were special roses there, Sharon. But there's someone that just came out with a sefer like 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. Keeps on putting out. On Bereshit, this big. Chavatzeles hashoron, Shemot. Vayikra, another one. Devarim also has two. Said is this big. It's very, very. It hit the yeshiva shevelt very hard. Meaning it was not hard in a good way. It was a big splash. He's a major lamdin. It's on Chumash, but it's like a pasuk on Chumash with all the lamdas, bring you a machlekes k'tzais and a sivis with the briskerov and everything on this very lamdish shtickle Torah. On and on. He's a gaon adam. His name is Rabbi Moshe Medresh. He's a cousin of Shlomo Carlebach. His father's cousin. Yeah, I know it's a young Talmid Chacham. Maybe 5-6 years older than me. I think that's young still, but it's called Chavatzelet Hasharon. That's what he calls it. Okay, Givaldik. So now, what time is the Shacharit over here?
3 minutes.
8.
What?
8 o'clock. 3 minutes.
Oh, really?
Stop here? Good place to stop.
Yeah, good place to stop.
No, we can do Mishnah Gemara. There's one Mishnah, one Gemara.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, let's do. Okay, now we learned that the Avot Melachot have to be Mekashet, right, and to be Matir or not, to tie knots and to untie knots. So the Mishnah says, "Ve'elu ksharim," says the Mishnah Kedusha, "Ve'elu ksharim shechayavin alehen." These are the knots which you're going to be chayav chatat. Okay. Where do we have knotting in the Mishkan? They used to knot, tie up any torn threads in the curtains in the Yeriot of the Mishkan were tied. How long were they tied for? Forever. They were tied that they should stay there indefinitely. So therefore, that's the type of knot that you're going to be chayav for on Shabbat. Only the ones that are permanent. So it says, Ve'elu ksharim shechayavin alein. Kesher hagmalin v'kesher hasapanin. Gamal doesn't mean the camel. Gamalin means the people who drive the camels. And sapanin means the people who conduct, right, take the ships out, the sailors. The sailors not. And the point of this is, the Gemara is going to explain exactly what they are, but they are there, they're permanent. Since that is the type of knot that you're chayav for tying, so therefore, that is the knot that you are chayav for untying. Which means, untying is asur on the ones that it's asur to tie. That's the same knot. This one knot and the same. Okay. Now, where would they untie the knots? So sometimes, when they had to fish for the chilazon, they had to untie the nets. So they had to untie the nets and tie them in a different way, a different place. So,
Very nice.
what did you say? Okay. So therefore, now you could say like this, 1 second. If the nets that were untied to readjust them to the proper size, so then they're not permanent. So the teretz is that the nets were generally, the knots were done permanently. Once in a blue moon, that doesn't take away its status as permanent. They would sometimes do that, so you see that they did such a malacha, but the malacha was also done to something that was considered permanent. So the Gemara says, "My kesher agmalin." Says the Mishnah, weiter. Rabbi Meir Omer, kol kesher shu yachol yitiro be'achat miyadav. Any knot which is loose enough for him to untie with one of his hands, ein chayavin alav. You're not going to be chayav. Okay? Says the Gemara, "My kesher agmalin v'kesher sapanim." What are these two things? Ile mekiter de katre bizmama. The knot that they put through the zmama is the nose ring. Which means you take the leash goes through the nose ring of the camel, and you tie it. So the Gemara says, it's not permanent. It's not kayama. Ella, we skip v'kita dekate be'istrida, and the knot that they put through the ship's ring. Okay, they have that ring at the end of the ship, and they have the anchor is tied with a rope to the ring. The Gemara says, this kesha is not permanent. So it means the nose ring itself, the way that they used to form the nose ring was with a knot. And that nose ring always remains, which means the leash doesn't always remain inside the nose ring. And the anchor doesn't always remain inside the ring of the ship. So that's not a kayama, so it can't be. But the ring itself, the nose ring itself was formed with a knot. That is what it means. And those stay forever. Any kesher that you're able to untie with one hand is not, you're not chayiv for. The brother of Mar Acha asked, what about a bow? The whole reason that Rabbi said it's mutter is because you take it out with one hand. You can also take out a bow with one hand. Maybe the point of Meir wasn't if you could do it with one hand. The reason why he gave that as a criteria is because that usually that's a siman that it's very loose. However, the hamahadik, but here it is tight. A bow is not loose. It's not. It was made properly. The bow. It's just that you're able to take out the bow with one hand. So that's the shayla what Meir holds. Teku. Chazak baruch. Have a great day.